What the hell are you barking about? Oh, now he shuts up. Fifth. Yeah, exactly. All right, look. You haven't been real cooperative lately, as if you've ever been cooperative. Let's see if you can get this one right. How many points are the Panthers getting tonight? Don't walk away from me. Hey, I'm asking you a question. Okay, the question is, how many points are we getting tonight in number of barks? Go. Just thinking about it. That's one. That's it? Dude, you realize the Avalanche lost to the Penguins yesterday, and now the Penguins are going to play the Stars tonight, right? I'll ask you again. How many points are we getting tonight? Okay, that's a better answer. Okay, 4, 5. Okay, I think we got it. We got it. Good job. Okay.
You ready? Here we go. They did it. I don't believe it.
Let's go Panthers. Let's go Panthers. Let's go Panthers. Let's go. Go.
Puck drop. And 3, 2, 1.
Let's go Panthers. Let's go Panthers. Let's go Panthers. Let's go. Go.
All right, Panther fans, how we doing? So, got the Leafs tonight. No longer in full control of our playoff destiny. That train ended last night when, of course, the Pittsburgh Penguins unexpectedly went into Colorado and didn't just win, they won 5-2. I woke up to that news this morning, was not explicitly happy. We do have Duke back. Bennett is not in, so Bubba, knocking on the wood. Bubba. Now, we do catch a little bit of a break. We're going up against Matt Murray. I call that a break because we have done well against him in the past. Pens play the Stars tonight starting at 9 o'clock. Everybody's going to be scoreboard watching, kung fu fighting. It's going to be. After this, there's 10 left. There's really not a lot left to say other than win your games. The only thing I will say is that a point is a point. And the reason why I say that is if it's 5 minutes left and we have a tie game, I'm not necessarily against playing for overtime because we are 1 point behind Pittsburgh. But we massively have the tiebreaker in regulation wins. So we do not need to finish with more points than Pittsburgh. We need to finish tied with Pittsburgh. If we tie with Pittsburgh, we get the playoff spot. We get the 8th seed. So 5 minutes left, tie game, get to overtime, and then take your chances in overtime. And that goes for all of the games. Of course, we want to win, okay? But I'd rather get the point and move on than lose a point with under 5 minutes left because we're taking chances and trying to get that goal to win in regulation. We have 5 more regulation wins than the Penguins. They're not going to catch us in that regard. The lost point could be the difference. So with that in mind, 4-3 Panthers in overtime tonight. Let's get to. Alright, so 1-1 after 1. Matthews got one early, and then Tkachuk almost got one. Kind of should have maybe been one, but they called it incidental contact on the goaltender. That's a tough call because Murray had plenty of time, and, Tkachuk kind of bumped it. Tkachuk was blocked into him. He was checked into him. He was pushed into him, and then as soon as Tkachuk touched Murray, Murray flew backwards, threw off his mask, stripped naked, started taking an IV fluid, and I think he also tested positive for COVID, all in that length of time before the puck went into the net, and they immediately waved it off. And then Tkachuk almost got robbed by Murray again, but luckily, remember it was last year or the year before, we had a situation where we watched the replay and everybody couldn't see the puck, couldn't see the puck, couldn't see the puck, and there it was in the mesh of the goaltender's glove, and sure enough, that's exactly what happened here. Murray made a spectacular save. Can't take anything away from him, but the puck had just crossed the goal line already, and the only reason you could see it was in the mesh of his glove. So the game is tied 1-1. We don't look good though. I'm not gonna lie. Toronto's kind of been taking it to us. We look disorganized and dysfunctional. I don't know if these guys are feeling a little bit too much pressure, and if that's the case, maybe the first period of this game will get them settled down. I know Maurice has said in the past they've come out too tight because they're feeling the pressure. It's what happens when you don't play well your first 40, 50 games. We're on track for 4-3 in overtime. I just stick with it. Let's move on. It's 4-2. Leafs after 2. As soon as the Panthers did all the hard work, so burnt out. So freaking burnt out toast. As soon as the Panthers did all the work to get themselves into a playoff position, their defense is absolutely just taking a massive dump. Disorganized, dysfunctional, discombobulated, not covering their man, not having any idea of who's got who. And Bob is making some great saves, and then Aaron Ekblad from behind the net, right in front of the refs, after we worked our way back to getting it 3-2 on a nice goal by Cousins, backhand. Aaron Ekblad clearly hooks Austin Matthews when Barkov was right on him. Year after 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 year of just stupid mistakes. We're out shooting the Leafs, but half of the shots are into the goaltender's belly. Does that sound familiar? Last couple games ago, we controlled the 7 seed, and now we're let's move on to third period. So, as I stand here now, it's 1-0 Dallas over Pittsburgh. So I suppose if somehow Dallas manages to win that game in regulation, we won't be any worse off than we were at the start of tonight. I could go into full-on meltdown mode, and by the time I wake up tomorrow, we could still be sitting there just 1 point out of a spot with the same number of games played as Pittsburgh, and the truth of it is I'm exhausted from getting out of the airport, all that, watching the entire fan base just fight all day long over a rainbow jersey. I just want to watch my hockey team, talk about my hockey team. Then I like my hockey team to actually show up in the big moments. Now, just because you show up in the big moments doesn't mean guaranteed that you're going to win. We lost to the Devils, Game 6, double overtime, right? Excuse me, Game 7, double overtime. But we came back from 2 goals down in that third period. We showed up in a big moment. Just couldn't finish it off. Tonight, moving forward, going forward, we have a massive problem. That massive problem is our number one defenseman, our highest paid defenseman, is just simply not a number one defenseman anymore. It's just not. Now, when a running back ages, you just start giving him fewer carries or you trade him. But if he can't carry the ball 25, 30 times a game and he can still be good for 10 to 12 carries a game, it's usable. And I'm not saying it's all Aaron Ekblad's fault. It's just there's so many problems, there's so many holes, there's so many issues. But most of the time, every team has holes and issues. But the difference is the energy that you show up to the rink with. Now, I'm totally not surprised by the lack of energy that this team had tonight for multiple reasons. Since they clinched for the moment, since they clinched for that moment the control of even the 7 seed, they've now allowed 12 goals in 2 games. I grasp there was some empty net issues in there, but the defense is absolutely just tanked. Just tanked. And it's not any one player. It is, I mean, against the Flyers, it was Gudas, Ekblad, Forsling. Gudas played well tonight. Tonight, Ekblad was terrible. Stahl was terrible. Forsling took the tripping penalty that made it 5-on-3, but weak. Dude was already going down before Forsling's stick got in there. But if your stick is near the guy's skate and he falls, stupid as it may be, most times those calls are going to get made. At least if you're playing the Leafs. Mahura is a nice find. He's a good player. He does have a tendency to miss out on offensive opportunities and not quite get back fast enough. And I guess maybe in this system the forwards are supposed to cover, but none of that matters because we came out tonight at home against the division rival and we were just flat. We just did not have the emotion, the energy, the give a shit. We didn't have any of it. Now Kachuk, Barkov, I'm thinking Kachuk and Barkov. Those 2 guys are excused from the didn't have it category tonight. Nobody else, I don't think anybody else is excused. Bob's in a different category. I think Bob did what he needed to do to keep us in the game, but at some point you have to stop shooting the puck into the goalie's belly. At some point, when you're entering the zone with speed, you have to stop slowing down and back passing to somebody who's coming into the zone. And if you're going to do that, whoever's coming into the zone to collect that back pass needs to stop shooting into the belly of the fucking goalie. So we have 10 games left. Hopefully, we can get back tomorrow or maybe the next day. I don't know if Stu and I are going to be able to have a review. He has something in the morning. And I don't know what frame of mind I'm going to be in. I'm sure tomorrow, just like other times, I'm sure tomorrow's just going to be a joy on social media for multiple reasons. And then we got the Rangers Saturday, and that's what makes this all... I mean, we ain't... You think Toronto and Philadelphia beat us. You give that effort against the Rangers, it's going to be 10-0 after 2. Okay? Gallant and Trocheck are going to come in here and just wipe the floor with us. And maybe that's what they deserve. I saw Kachuk giving effort. I saw Barkov giving effort. I will say Gudis gave effort. But I didn't even see Lusterreiner really working hard tonight. I don't understand how these guys continue to come out and just not have the energy, unless we've talked about this before with Maurice's system. And this is something that fans of Maurice coach teams have said. They said they look good, bad, good, bad, because the system is so physically taxing. When you look good, you're having to give so much effort and so much energy that it's just not possible to keep it up for a full 82 games. And the only difference between the teams that finished in second place and the teams that finished in fifth place are, did the goalie make miraculous saves 30 games, 40 games, or 50 games, or somewhere in between? But the rest of the players and the rest of the way that it goes for the team, this is what it is. What we are seeing on the ice, this is as perfect of an example of a Paul Maurice coach team as he's had all of the other years that he's been a coach. This system demands Vezina caliber elite goaltending. And if you don't get that, you are going to be in 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th place. And if you do get that, I mean, he still hasn't won a cup. He went to one in 20 some odd years. Now, somebody asked me on Twitter, when did I think a Maurice firing would happen, and I do not think that that will happen. Maurice has married himself, Zito has married himself to Maurice. Zito has explicitly said with a big smile, oh, we got the right guy, he's my guy, however you want to paraphrase it. If this team doesn't make it, it'll be Zito. It'll be a whole house cleaning, but Zito will be the one out the door because this is his guy now. You know, you get to game 50, game 60 next year, we're going to have money, we should have depth. Hopefully Spencer Knight is okay. But if you get to game 50, game 60 next year and you're still in this position, then you might start hearing some whispers and rumbling. But it won't be about Maurice. It'll be about Zito. Because, like I've said to you guys before, in 24-25, we only have 5 guys under contract. And at some point, if this team cannot pull it together, you might see ownership start to say, is this really the guy that we want with the keys to the kingdom? And I'm not saying I don't believe in Bill Zito. I'm just saying that if the Paul Maurice ship goes down, I think it'll be on the back of Bill Zito's ship going down. That's what I'm saying. I don't believe he will get a chance to be like, whoopsies on Paul Maurice, let me hire another coach. I believe that he would be gone, and then also Maurice would be gone. That's just my belief. It's not something I want to fight about or anything like that. It's just that's my belief. Which, these days, be careful with what you believe. This season is killing me. I mean, and I'm sure there's plenty of people, and there is plenty of people that said they expected the Panthers to be like this year. I get it. I get it. I thought between Balsers, Tierney, White, Cousins, it's 4 guys. I figure one of those guys has got to play well enough to make up for Marshman, right? You got 4 new guys. One of them? Come on. 2 of them ain't even on the team anymore. Cousins is nice. Colin White's absolute waste. You may as well have my tripod out there. Nice kid? Fine, whatever. But, like I said on Twitter, we need 2 or 3 new defensemen, and we need at least 4 new guys in the bottom 6. At least 4. At least 3, 4, depending on what you do with Reinhardt. Nola Chari didn't look so bad out there today, huh? How much did he get paid? Not one problem. I pick out Ekblad because it's indicative of when we're also not giving the right effort, he's hooking Matthews right there, right in front of the ref. Barkov had him. So even if somebody says, well, it didn't look like that much of a hook, there wasn't any need to even put your stick in his belly in that area. Barkov had him. That's it. That's it. That's enough for tonight. Apologize for the low-key demeanor. It's been a long day, and I try to be friends with everybody as much as I can. But I look at the hockey world, and I look at the media, and I look at how people are talked about. And there's days I just wonder I'm not so sure I belong. Because just because. I'll see you guys in the morning. Or not. I don't know. I'll see you tomorrow with the podcast.